Okay, good afternoon. Sorry for the little delay. Our meeting just ran over a little bit, but the St. Cloud Metropolitan Transit Commission Board is called to order. It is 4:11, and let the record reflect that all the board members are here. Are there additions or changes to the agenda?
Yes, item number 19 will follow after item 11, and item 18 will be for informational purposes only.
You have a microphone, right? I just want to push the little green, or the button until it turns green.
Testing.
There you go.
Item number 19 will follow after item 11, and item 18 will be for informational purposes only.
I'll move to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. We have the consent agenda, items 5 through 9. Is there a motion to approve?
Oh, second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Old business, update on the Riders Advisory Committee meeting.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you gotta go to the microphone there, yep.
Thank you. We met this afternoon down at the Mobility and Training Center. On the agenda today was some old business. We had a couple of questions that had come up the month prior. So those things were addressed and accepted by the board. We discussed our travel training program and how referrals come in and how that process worked. The commuter challenge was discussed, and we encouraged the committee members to sign up. And for next month, we will be looking at our new chair and vice chair. And Amy was there.
I took the bus.
Any questions or comments? Okay, we'll go on then to new business, item number 11. Resolution 2016-04, Minn authorizing resolution, Federal Veterans Transportation and Community Living Initiative.
Hello, it's my first time presenting to you guys. I'm Berta, the Marketing and Communications Manager. I've met everyone. Basically, this resolution is to give us permission to have a contract with Minn for them to give us money. They want to advertise on our buses, so we'll get about $3,000. So if you approve this, it's saying it's okay for us to have that agreement with Minn.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve first? Get promise?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. For your first time, we should have just grilled you on some questions. They were nice, they were kind. Maybe that's the way it's best to say, this is my first time presenting, that works. But now you're going to be again, because I think you have item number 19, we moved that up. So consideration of the comprehensive website redesign.
Yeah. Last year you'd approved money in the capital budget for us to update our website so that it can be more user-friendly. And we went through the request for proposal process. So we, sent it out to have people submit their proposals to us, and we interviewed 2 finalists, and we selected Pavlov to redesign the website. They're experienced with transit and trip planners, and we thought that they would be the best option for us in our community here. Where the cost was significantly higher than what we anticipated, so we want to split it into 2 phases, having phase 1 complete this year with the money that we already had planned and set aside, and then have phase 2 happen in the next fiscal year. And so we're looking for approval to move forward with that, to be able to award the project to Pavlov in this 2-phase agreement, so that we can have a trip planner, basically rebuild our website from bottom up with to make it a lot easier to use. We get a lot of feedback from people where they, like Hazel and other people can't find this or can't find that. And so it will also include a little bit of a usability test to make sure that everything is placed in the right spot. And we'll have training videos on there to help people learn how to ride the bus, especially important with us wanting to increase ridership. We want to have our website be user-friendly and welcoming and not a barrier for people to ride our system. So that's what I'm looking at here. And if you see at the bottom, it says with the understanding that the second phase of the project will be brought back to the commission with the 2017 to 2021 capital improvement plan. So, do you have any questions for me?
Other questions?
Why was the price so high? What was the reason?
Well, the trip planner costs a lot more than we thought it would, and this also includes the videos and new photography. The video and photography portion of it video is kind of expensive to do, and then the photography, we are looking at getting the photography that can be used not only for the website, but on all of our brochures, all of our marketing things, so that we can make it be a consistent brand throughout and be not just a quality that can be used on the website, but also used everywhere, having all the rights to use those photographs. And it just costs more than we realized to redo your website from the ground up with a new content management system.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, one of the things that I think I heard you say is that this resolution was us agreeing to enter a
Into the
contract.
contract to have the two-phase.
So you're not
You're not agreeing on
agreeing to the
loan.
second phase.
Right. You're
Okay.
saying, my understanding, call it, yeah. So it's saying, yep, you can have this, you can get started on the website, you can do phase one, and then you have the understanding that the website won't be as polished or whatever until phase two is done.
Okay.
And so you guys have to approve that later when you're going through the budget.
And then when we do update phase one with the website, will it be, well, backing up when I said to my husband, I have to figure out how to ride the bus tomorrow, he said, well, just download their app. And
We'll have the trip planner. It won't be as, it'll be a very basic trip planner, which is better than what we have today, which is no trip planner. After phase two, it would be a little smoother to use because part of phase two will be those final touches on the graphic design of it, to make sure it's very easy to use.
Will the new design be smartphone, like for instance, I tried to find Route 32 and every time I touched on Route 32 on my smartphone, it came up Route 31.
Yeah,
And I had to figure it out.
So currently today we have our regular website and then we have a mobile website and they look very different from each other. And so if someone goes to the mobile website, you don't see our landing page, you don't just see the news, you just see the routes and a note for detours. And with the new design, it'll be, where it changes to whatever device you have. There's a name for that, I cannot think of it. I cannot think of it, but there's a word for it.
You're already beyond what we're
Yeah.
planning anyways.
So, anyways, yes, it's gonna work on a smartphone and a tablet and the desktop and it'll change the size to work on all those platforms, but it won't be a completely different site like it is now.
Okay, thank you.
The whole goal is to enhance the user experience, to make it easier to find the information, to make it easier to want to ride the bus.
Good.
Two questions. It's $50,000 this year, I take it.
Mhm.
And do you have it locked in for the price then for the next phase?
Yes, for the next phase, we had put in the additional $50,000. It is.
That'll cover it?
That will cover it.
Okay, and then timing, maybe I missed it. What's timing wise for the first phase?
For the first phase, we want to have it done so that when we have, if the new routes are approved, that we'll be able to launch at the same time. And then the second phase we would start working on that right away so that we would be able to finish it hopefully by the end of November,
Thanks.
if approved. Any other questions?
Any other question? So, I'm sorry, I missed that first part about the app. The app would be available
It's a trip planner that's on our website, so you'd be able to access it from your smartphone or from a tablet or from the desktop. And in phase 1, it'd be a very basic version of the trip planner. And
You're not creating an app all by itself.
it's not an app all by itself.
Has that been explored as potentially something?
Part of our technology package that we're looking at doing moving forward.
Yeah, when we have like real-time data and all that availability, then that makes sense.
I learned today at the Rider Advisory Committee meeting that that you can get something that isn't an app, that it's not an app, but it's gonna be like an app, but it's not an app.
It's like a bookmark on your phone, on your
Right.
desktop, so you just hit that and it brings you right to the website.
Okay, a bookmark.
Well, I don't know if that's like official, but it's like having a thing put right up to
It's not.
bookmark. It's not an app. But it acts like an app if you're hooked up to the internet.
Could you, when that process is going through it and you're ready and you're complete and ready to go, if you could reach out to, and I'll speak for St. Cloud, but I'm assuming all these cities would, could you reach out to our IT folks and make sure that because I think all of our websites, would be nice to have that. And we have an app now at St. Cloud, so we'd like to have that piece of it though connected to Metrobus so that that service is available in all of our cities. But it'd just be probably more helpful if you reached out to our folks.
I can do that.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
And I think are you gonna vote on?
Is this an action item?
Yeah, you have to
Oh.
say, yep, you can go into that, agree that
Do
contract.
this by consensus. Any other discussion? Is there a motion, first of all, to approve moving forward with?
No, I'll make that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thanks.
Thank you.
So then we'll move to item number 12, consideration of a MOU with the Rotary Club of St. Cloud for Summertime by George.
Commissioners, in your packet, you have a memorandum of understanding with Metrobus and the Rotary Club of St. Cloud. This is to provide trolley service for the Summertime by George, which is set to launch June 15th, 2016. Do no further questions? You have moved to accept this contract.
Is there a motion? Motion approved. There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number 13, consideration of purchase of the former Spread property.
Yeah, Commissioners, I can take this particular item. There was a memo in your packet outlined what transpired here recently, just actually over the last 2 weeks. We discovered that the former Z-Bar property at 635 Franklin has been vacated by its current owner. It was sold under contract for deed. It's been returned to its original owner. And the original owner has reached out to us to see if we're interested in negotiating a purchase. So that's what prompted us to bring this to your attention today to see if the Commission is interested in letting staff try to negotiate a purchase for this property. As outlined in the agenda memo, there's certainly some benefits to us by acquiring this parcel. It's the only directly adjoining parcel to the Operations Center at 665 Franklin. Over the years, we've talked about it at staff level, kind of a would be nice to have, but it wasn't actively being offered on the market. It was an active business. Of course, you all know if you're going to acquire a property that has an active business in it for business relocation, the price tag goes up significantly. So at this point, we're dealing with a vacant property. The current owner really has no interest in it and would like to sell it. They have an interest in working with us. So we feel as a staff it certainly could benefit Metrobus in the future. Gives us some additional space for maintenance by utilizing the building. Gives us some space for parking, which we are out of at the current operations center. And if we're going to grow our employee workforce, there's a chance that we're going to probably run out of parking spaces here within the next couple of years. Information that I gave you the backside of your memo was a photograph that shows, aerial photo that shows the property quite of approximately an acre, just slightly less. So it gives you an idea of the amount of space available at and surrounding that particular parcel. Interesting.
Okay. All you're asking for, Tom, is permission to negotiate, and it'll come back to us anyway, so I don't see any problem with that. And then we can find out if they want way too much for it, or if it's a good deal, so.
Yeah, I think that would be, again, if with your approval, we'd like to meet formally with the owner. She doesn't want to list it, so there might be some advantages to us by negotiating a direct sale versus it being out in the open market. And she's actually anxious to do this fairly soon.
Well, there should be a 7 to 10% discount right off the top if he doesn't list it. I mean, that's just, that goes to the realtors.
Right.
Yeah. It's a public meeting, so it's listed now.
Yeah, there you go. It went up now.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that there is a great need with our maintenance department. I'm just curious if it does happen that we acquire this property, I don't recall seeing anything in our long-range plan that would ever bring a bus route right to that garage area, or not?
Actually, it is in
Oh, good.
restructuring of our two routes of our route in Sauk Rapids. We would actually have a portion of the route that would actually circle the operations center.
Okay,
So it'll be right there.
thanks.
Sure.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
question, Tom. Two things, maybe this is more for Brian too, but is that somewhere, where is the money coming from if we did this? Is it?
Yeah, I mentioned
Sure.
earlier, we've got the ability to defer or delay, however you want to put it, a locally funded capital project of a similar value. Again, we don't know exactly what kind of number we're talking about. For the purchase, we have an idea. So it's in that price range, we think, of a current project that we would probably have to, move down a year or two. We don't know exactly how far. And it depends on how other capital improvements fall in place.
Okay, then I have a follow-up question, and I'm not an engineer and attorney, but if you do go as far as a purchase agreement, I'd want to see phase 1, phase 2 environmental, because it's the old Z-Bar, right?
Yeah, we'll have to explore that. We're not using federal funds, which helps. This would be 100% local dollars, so we wouldn't have to go through a federal environmental because it's a transit facility of sorts. We're going to avoid some of that.
No, Tom, I'm thinking more of contamination on site.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it. We're going to probably have to get a legal opinion on it and get some help to make sure that we're not acquiring something again, like you say, is
Right.
got some potential for that. We haven't been in the building yet since the former owner vacated it, so we don't know what kind of condition it's in. We're told it's usable, but we'll have to check that out.
And my only question, my concern was they obviously use chemicals there, so we don't want to buy something that's contaminated.
Right. Correct. Yep.
All right, yeah, Dave had to leave, so he'll be back in a little while. But are we all in consensus that it's okay? Yeah, John, go ahead.
Just one comment. I make sure that the correct owners of the building know that we're not in the market to pay top dollar for that building because it was previously owned. It was, somebody paid already on that. So I'm looking for a bargain.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah. And I think the board agrees we want a bargain. We don't
Right.
want to pay top dollar.
I suppose you should have a formal action, somebody to move that he can enter into negotiations. Not that we're going to buy it yet, but at least get a contract to approve and disapprove.
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Thanks. Let's see, item 14, consideration of agenda format and open forum protocol.
Commissioners, in your packet, you have a memorandum from Metrobus stating agenda format and open forum protocol. In an attempt to keep our board meetings consistent with other transportation agencies, government entities, Metrobus would like to recommend changing our current agenda format to the following. Call to order, roll call, additions or changes to the agenda, approval of the agenda, consent agenda with an A, previous month meeting minutes, B, previous month balance sheet, budget statement, bank reconciliation, C, previous month list of bills, D, previous month ridership reports, open forum, general business, executive director and/or department updates, other, and adjournment. If there are no further questions, I would like to recommend you accept this action item.
Anybody? John?
Motion approved.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor? Passed unanimously.
Well, I knew that. You guys move so fast. I just wanted to say that I think it's a great change. I mean, not just staying consistent with other organizations, but to offer the folks who do come to participate in our meetings the opportunity to speak earlier on in case our business runs late. So I want to thank you for bringing those changes forward.
Okay. Item 15, consideration of letters of understanding and agreement with Teamsters Collective Bargaining Agreement. Harley?
Hi there.
Aye.
So you found in your agenda packet that there are 3 letters of understanding and agreement that we have discussed and negotiated with Teamsters. 2 of them were brought forward by Teamsters and 1 brought forward by management. The first one is the driver instructor agreement, and that changes the driver instructor program just a little bit. It shifts the hours that they're in service driving down to 8 to 20 hours per week to allow them more time for new hire driver training. And it also allows them by seniority to bid open work for training purposes. And what that means is when we have a new hire in training, we oftentimes don't have the opportunity to get them out at night or on weekends. So this will enable us to do a more comprehensive new hire driver training program. The second letter of understanding has to do with holiday pay. And in our current union contract, part-time employees are paid 4 hours for each holiday, and full-time drivers and dispatchers are paid for 8 hours. Well, some of the full-time bids are 10 hours, so on holiday, that employee would be shorted 2 hours of pay. We also have part-time employees who, if they had been working on that holiday, would have earned 8 hours of pay. So they're shorted by 4 hours. So we're really looking at making those employees whole for their holiday. And the third one is kind of 3 components. It gives us the ability to hire directly and permanently into a full-time position, seniority rank, or the part-time seniority rank. And this will help us with our recruitment, our hiring, and certainly with retention of our employees. The other 2 components, for part-time, we're proposing that we only bid open work. Currently, part-time, especially fixed route employees, have to bid 3 times a year. So if you're a part-time employee working for us and have a full-time employment situation with, say, New Flyer, and we do a rebid, it's likely that your part-time bid will no longer coincide or fit with your full-time employment. So then we can lose employees that way. And the third component is our contract services. That's North Starlink, Sundowner, Husky Shuttle, Late Night, and we're looking at, and we're proposing that we bid those once a year for stability purposes. So that's kind of a summary of these. I'm wondering if you have any questions?
I have a question on the 10 hours. Those are only for the people that are working, or if it's their day off, how do they get their holiday pay out?
Okay, let's say it's a holiday and you're a driver for us and you have a 10-hour bid, but we're closed that day. It's a holiday. So currently you're paid for 8 hours. You're really losing 2 hours of pay.
And my question then is, are all union employees agreeable to that? Because those people that are working those 10-hour shifts and they bid them are now getting more holiday time.
No, they're currently being paid 8 hours for that 10-hour bid.
Under this one, they'll get paid more for holiday pay in a year than a person that doesn't have that opportunity.
They'll be held harmless. But then again, they'll have other employees would have the opportunity to perhaps bid that 10-hour.
Because I know some places that have 10-hour shifts will pay the 8 hours holiday pay, the other 2, or if you want to get paid for them, you take vacation.
Yeah. We've worked with the union and together we've come up with this.
I'm more concerned that somebody says I didn't have an opportunity because I didn't have the seniority. And all of a sudden, Amy gets paid 100 hours over holiday pay, and I only got paid for 95 for the year.
Commissioner Arlene, you know, we've had this conversation with the union. They're aware of that. They're telling us it's more important to make sure that those employees are made whole during that holiday. They really weren't concerned about a particular employee getting more holiday hours than another one. I think where they were, because we don't all have 8-hour shifts and 4-hour shifts, full-time shifts, 8 hours, part-time, 4-hour. They vary so much that we found that there was a handful, for each holiday, there was always a handful of employees that were shorted some time. Some it was a few minutes, others it was a couple hours. It just didn't seem right that they were shorted when everybody else was made whole. So now we can pay what they actually would have been scheduled to work. Makes them happy. They feel like, okay, I'm being compensated fairly because I picked a bid that happened to have a 9.5-hour shift on that holiday. So they want to be, again, whole. They're going to get their 40 hours or their guaranteed hours for the week, and everybody's happy.
Well, these contracts are up in 17, so it'll give you a little over a year to see if we have problems.
Right, and these letters of understanding are in effect until the next contract.
Yeah, right. Okay, somebody want to move all 3 of those? You want one at a time, or you want them all at once?
If you want to vote all 3 together, that's fine with us.
Okay.
Motion approved. Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve all 3. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously.
Thank you.
For those of us that are here yet. Thanks. Okay, consideration of final audit.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Before you is the final audited financial statements and comments letter from KDB, our auditors. If you recall, back in December, it presented kind of a preliminary audit. This is the first year that we had to implement GASB 68, and the information that was available that we needed to complete the financial statements on the government-wide statements actually wasn't available from PARA until March. So that's why the only things that changed were in the notes that we had to recognize a portion of PARA's liabilities. We have to recognize our portion of their books on our government-wide statements. It's not a true liability to us. We don't ever have to pay that, but they, in GASB 68, determined that we would need to recognize a portion of that. So that's really the only change. So these are the final financials, and the ones that they presented in December were just the preliminary.
All right. Anybody any questions? Kurt, you got any questions? I'm going to look at you for this one. All right. You think I need a motion to accept the final report?
Motion approved.
I'll second it.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Thanks. And then I think you're still there for presentation of mid-year financial update.
Yeah, yep. Just wanted to kind of give you an update. We're halfway through our fiscal year now at the end of March, and things are looking really good. We are actually over budget a little bit in revenue, so that's great, and we are under budget. I don't want to kind of repeat the memo, you guys all got that, but we're under budget in expenditures. Things are looking really well, so if no changes come in, which I don't anticipate anything major that comes, I actually anticipate us being about $500,000 under budget by the end of our fiscal year. The only little hiccup that we just ran into, Libby actually got the happy information. We had been told back in 14, the end of 14 or early 15, that we were going to be exempt from sales tax effective January 1 of 16. we were notified this week, because we quit paying sales tax, obviously, as of January 1, that has actually been delayed. So we are going to have to owe sales tax now for the rest of this year, and that will go into effect as of January 1, 2017. So that's just a little savings that we were getting excited about that is not going to be there.
State's got a lot of budget money, surplus money we won't pay.
Yeah.
So we didn't pay any sales tax in 2015?
No, we paid sales tax. We thought it went into effect as of January 1 of 16.
Oh,
So it's only a few months.
It's not very long.
No, it's.
but we have to go back and pay everything we didn't, or we just have to start paying now?
No, we have to go back effective January 1 and pay for calendar year 16, and then it will go into effect January 1 of 17.
So we're not buying anything else the rest of the year?
Yeah. The reins have been tight, no.
Okay, thank you.
So if you had any other questions about where we're at with the budget or capital items, anything?
How much is that we have to pay back that we weren't paying, just because I'm curious?
It's about really rough. Olivia and I are gonna tackle that next week, but I guess probably about 15,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, anybody else with questions? All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Item 18, consideration of organizational chart restructuring, new and updated job descriptions, and additional operations staff. Ryan?
Commissioners, in your packet, you have an agenda memorandum once again. Metrobus staff is proposing a series of structural changes within the organizational structure and operations department to increase efficiencies and better manage an increased workforce. The changes recommended in this agenda memorandum include position title changes for 3 executive positions, changes in reporting structure for the marketing and communications and IT and data departments, changes in reporting structure within operations for drivers, dispatch staff, creation of 1 scheduler position, creation of 1 fixed route operations manager position, and addition of 1 street supervisor. And in your packet, you have the attached draft O chart. If you have any questions, once again, this is for informational purposes, so feel free to, if you have any questions at this time.
Yeah, this is for informational purposes and it'll be discussed at another meeting, so anybody have anything now? All right, thanks. All right, that takes care of new business. Open discussion, is anyone here for open discussion? Discussion and consideration of phase 1 long-range plan.
It's at 5:30.
That's at 5:30, so that's coming up. So we've got about 45 minutes. All right, we'll see you back here in 45 minutes.